Hello everyone and welcome to Coded Arms, a game that you may not have really heard of because it is a quite obscure game released in 2005 for the PSP. I had this game back in the day and I want to say that I beat it, but I'm not entirely sure, to be completely honest with you. But here's the first PSP game that I'll be playing on my channel, and I think it's a very obscure and interesting PSP game for sure. So I really enjoyed it, so I may as well be playing it here. Okay, so the game runs only at 20 frames per second, and there you can have a 30 frames and 60 frames per second cheat code enabled, but the problem is that it actually speeds up the game 150% or 300% respectively. So I'm like, we're just going to be playing at the 20 frames per second, recording it at 60 because it's divisible by 20. So that is the best we can do. And as a result, a lot of these games that run at low frame rate, they have a lot of input lag. And when you have a shooter like this, that's a problem. And when you're running it through an emulator, that creates some additional input lag. The input lag is pretty atrocious, but there's like a few settings that I had to change in the emulator to make it a bit more responsive, but it's still pretty laggy. But let's go ahead and see what this game is about here, because this game has quite an interesting story, I must say. The first wave of computerization and networking swept the Earth in the 21st century. Eventually, the technology evolved from a luxury into an indispensable part of daily life. It deeply affected the medical world as well, promoting the development of digital devices that allow human minds to interface directly with computer networks. Following the computerization of the planet Earth, a military-industrial mega-conglomerate waged a top-secret war against extraterrestrial life forms on a distant planet. The mega-conglomerate developed the combat simulator program A.I.D.A, A.I.D.A, for military training. In spite of high hopes and a massive amount of resources being dedicated to the project, a fatal flaw in the system led to it being officially abandoned during the beta testing stage. But A.I.D.A did not disappear. In fact, it continued to evolve, absorbing and incorporating information from Earth's networks. By the time it was accidentally discovered by a hacker, the program had grown into a form of a massive and complicated labyrinth. Word of the discovery spread through the online community like wildfire. Diehards bored with the current crops of games and hackers obsessed with the uncovering rare data files descended upon the program in droves. They treated the ultra-realistic simulation of the war against the aliens as the ultimate video game experience. However, the explosive popularity of the game resulted in an increasing number of digital casualties, otherwise known as sleepers. A.I.D.A's twisted architecture required users to take the extremely dangerous step of completely digitizing their personalities with backups in order to jack in. Or jack off, you can do either or. This exposed them to the system's flaw. Any user who died in the labyrinth would permanently lose their personality. Complicating the situation, the number of unpredictably aggressive programs called bugs and security programs called bots rapidly increased within the out-of-control system, reducing the chances a player surviving a run with their personality intact to less than 40%. When authorities realized the gravity of the situation, they immediately tried to destroy A.I.D.A. Unfortunately, the program had already spread into every conceivable part of Earth's networks, making it impossible to erase. Lacking any other choice, the authorities announced that the system posed no harm so long as it wasn't accessed, and that doing so was now punishable as a criminal offense. However, the authorities totally underestimated users' hunger for rare data files. Before long, any underground economy had emerged, based on trading web money for rare data salvaged from the labyrinth. Enterprising individuals began outfitting themselves with powerful weapon programs and setting off into A.I.D.A, wagering their personalities and lives for the promise of untold riches. Alternatively, revealed and respected. These outlaws, not called hackers, they were called the Coded Ones. So that is a very interesting story, I must say. Really, really cool. So why don't we go ahead and hop on into this now? This will probably be a relatively short introductory episode because we're probably mostly just going to... We look at the story, we're going to look at the game options and such, and then we're going to do the tutorial. Because this game is kind of broken down into like sectors and like levels. So I like to try to, you know, do a sector at a time. So this has multiplayer because PSP back in the day, you could connect to the internet here. So as the late 21st century advancements in medical technology led for linear connectivity of human minds to computer networks. In the midst of this, there was a giant labyrinth of data inside a computer network which many hackers dreamed of exploring. This was the military combat simulator A.I.D.A, which was abandoned after its system went out of control during development. I have to say, the music in this game is also pretty groovy as well. Many hackers have perished before the assault program, which continuously multiplied within the system. Armed with various power-up programs, there were those who challenged the A.I.D.A combat simulator, risking their lives for hefty cash rewards. Disdained and envied by the other hackers, they were often referred to as the Coded Ones. This simulation is close-range combat against the alien creature's linear connectivity with its user. The user can assign the appropriate difficulty for the battlefield throughout various levels and can conduct combat training as desired. We highly recommend testing the training program first. The training program initializing hack, enter your user ID. After ID verification, the system will set up a series of programs, complete each of the battlefields in order. Upon completion of all battlefields, you will be granted access to the kernel. In case of hack failure, there is a possibility of contracting the A.I.D.A syndrome that will be able to... You may proceed when ready. Good luck. Looks like there's gonna be some sort of syndrome we could get. Ooh. Okay, so I'm gonna press the button now. It's like half a second delay. Yeah, it's not fun playing with lag, but it is better than the default settings of the emulator, which is like 3/4 of a second. So let's do our classic name. Now, mind you, the menu's running it at like probably 30 frames per second, maybe 60. I think it's just 30. But the actual in-game gameplay is 20 frames per second, so it's not fun playing those low frame rate games. And we're talking about a PSP game. You would think that they would have enhanced their, you know, versus like PlayStation 1. That's like PlayStation 1 territory here. Rista. That's the go. User ID Rista is all good. Okay. So first thing we're going to do, as you can see, we can start our battle. We have various plugins. Yeah, we'll be able to see what that is. It says, okay, so select the battlefield and enter the system. Attach or change plugin files. So this is something that's really interesting about this game. We don't have any yet, obviously. Let's save current game. Why don't we go ahead and save? Rista, you were already jacked in here, man. Look at him. He was already jacked in on March 8th. While I'm recording this right now on April 14th, but you probably won't see it until May something. Let's go ahead and overwrite Rista. There you go, Rista. See, what's so nice is that because this is PSP, PS1 and PS2 are based on like a disk load time, meaning like it's like even though you have like a SSD, it's not going to load faster than the actual spinning disk can for the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2. This is PSP, so it's going to load like instantaneously off an SSD. It's absolutely amazing. Okay, we have the options. Let's go ahead and see our various game options. We can change our controls here. I'm just going to keep it as the default. If you know anything about the PSP, if you look at the system here, we see the system. It does not have a right analog stick. So when you have a shooter, guess what you got to do? Yeah, you got to use the X, circle, square, and triangle button as the right analog stick for aiming. It's not that fun. It's not that fun. For the actual handheld, you know, it's a little bit but yes. Now, I do have, because I have an Xbox controller, I have the right analog stick mapped to that, but it's still a bit wonky because of how the PSP was. Okay, so we can change the different styles here of how we want to have our aim. So we can have it have like a tight aim. There's two different types of tight aim. We can have no lock on at all, which I'm not going to do. We can also have a loose lock on, which may be good. I don't know. I'm just going to have to test it out. Invert y-axis. No, I'm not going to do that. Sensitivity, this is just going to be something as we go. If something is too sensitive or the acceleration of how fast it moves, I would just see how it is. I think I tested it out and it seemed fine at the default, so I'm not going to really worry too much about that. We have sound options. Accept challenges. Turning this on will allow you to accept challenges from other players. This is when you're playing online and such. And language settings, looks like we only have Japanese and English, so if you look, it only changes like the stuff at the bottom there. Let's go ahead and play in Japanese. Look, it doesn't actually even change any of this. You just see like the information below there. So, okay, there you go. We have our database here. Displays contents of plugin files in the database. We only have one database file right here, which is the pstl.arm version 1. So this is what's really cool about this, in that there's different sets of files here, and much like a computer like accessory or a computer like file that gets integrated into a system. This is how basically this is here. So we have the pistol arm, but the extension is .arm because it is the .arm file. And let's see, attribute physic effective against soldiers. Okay. And a standard automatic handgun, cost-effective weapon made in China. Oh yeah, it's all made in China, isn't it? Used mostly as sidearms. Okay. Can you even have guns in China? I mean, this gun is made in China, but can they even use it in China? I don't know what the gun laws are in China. I'm gonna say no. The ammo, offense, and you can see the various stats, but it looks like this is version 1, so maybe we can increase it at some point? Maybe? Possibly. And then we also have our battle log. Displays current and previous 10 records, which we haven't done anything right now, so it's not going to be anything here. Alright, so why don't we go ahead and hop on in to start battle and do the tutorial. See how this game is and how it actually plays. So this is Sector 0. Please choose the battlefield. Files decoded 0 out of 1. So there's going to be one file for us to decode in this area. Training. Familiarize yourself in the training program. First timers are required to start from here. Completing the training program allows access to Sector 1. So, alright, let's go. Instant loading. You ready? Look how fast. Back on the days when you actually had the physical disc in the PSP, like the UMD, that would probably take 3 times as long, if not maybe 4 or 5 times as long. Welcome to the training program. Your control layout can be changed in the options menu. Let's have a look. Sir, I already looked. Thank you so very much. Thank you. You can change your settings at any time when pressing start button and pressing options from the menu. Okay, so here we basically are here. So this is the China that they were talking about. I see. The game is made in China. It's made in China. Anyway, yeah, we have guess we're in Chinatown, right? Looks like it's a little bit kind of blurry. If you notice, like the light sources are kind of like there's like a ghosting effect. That's usually how it is for like PSP games. You really can't remove it for the most part, but the actual like game itself, it looks nice and crisp playing it in 4K. Even this has like a ghosting effect around it. So we can see our health in the bottom left. We have a map up in the top right, which is very handy. And in the bottom right, we also have our ammo and information like that. Pick up additional ammo. I can shoot this to destroy those. And because it's all digital and such, yeah, they just kind of disappear like that. We can reload. We have a like zoom feature. Different weapons are going to have more zoom, obviously. And I am using right now my right analog stick to move this, but because there's input lag, yeah. So, all right. So let us proceed forward and see what we have to do here. During your program, expect several battle encounters with enemies. Eliminate them and head for the terminal gate in the lowest level of this battlefield. And the other interesting thing about this game is that it is procedurally generated. So the maps will be random when we go to the different maps. So that is pretty cool, I must say. No point in shooting those. I don't know why I am, but I am. No enemies yet. The blue portal you see in this room is called the level gate. This allows you to proceed to the next level. Okay, here's our health. Let's not pick up the health, because enemies may spawn here. And we can use the environmental stuff to actually stop the enemies. We can wreck their day with explosives and such. Not sure how much ammo we can actually hold. And I believe if we look in the bottom right, we see like the orange box and it has 0. I think that's like for a secondary. No, I guess it wouldn't be a secondary fire because the PSP did not have 2 top trigger buttons. It only had 1, so I'm not entirely sure what that is exactly. So HP is full. It says unable to decode recovery _50 mid. HP is full, so let's actually get injured and pick it up now, shall we? You are taking heavy damage. When your health runs out, it's game over. Be careful. Oh no. Heavy damage. So this should replenish me. There we go. 50 HP recovered. Okay, so first level complete. No enemies in sight. So maybe level 2 will have some enemies for us to fight. Okay, Sector 2. You can view the map of the entire level by pressing the start button and by selecting map from the menu. Proceed to the level gate displayed on the map. I can also turn the map on and off. I really wish the select button would have just brought up the map in full screen as opposed to making the map disappear, but it is what it is. Okay, here we are, and we can see like the overall layout here. We can zoom in on it. I don't recall really ever using the map on the original game, but it is what it is. And it says also areas hacked 33%, so we're like 1/3 of the way done the tutorial. Simple tutorial. Looks like we can carry a lot of ammo. Do we need all this ammo? I mean, are we gonna fight like a super boss in the tutorial or something? Here we go. Okay. The music is groovy when the enemies come by, so I would have loved to attack this, but you know, you gotta kind of get used to the controls because it is a PSP game, so you can't expect like first-person shooter smooth, fluid action and such. You cannot expect that. Okay. As you proceed further, more powerful enemies await you. Without acquiring any plugin files, surviving upcoming battles may be difficult. Is that all? Is that all, guy? Too bad I can't jump. But then again, what button would you possibly press to... Oh, no, you actually can. Okay, it is the left trigger. I was about to say, it's like... I remembered being able to jump. How do you jump, you know? Any other enemies here? It's probably very lucky that I managed to shoot that enemy the way that I did. Because probably on the PSP, it was so small, you probably couldn't even see that enemy. So... Who here speaks Chinese and can read this? Oh look, that looks I've seen that symbol before. That looks like a sound system. It's like a desk, like a table, and it has like a sound system and like the speakers on the side. That's a interesting symbol. But yeah, I don't know what any of this says. But so if you speak Chinese, did I say Japanese? I don't know if I said Japanese or Chinese, but Chinese. Alright, let's head on in. Okay, so 2 sectors complete. Let's head to the last sector of the tutorial. Is this going to be a boss gauntlet? Okay, we have this here. Is this door open? The door is open. What's with all these explosive barrels, though? I'm hesitant to actually shoot him because... What if we come back in this room? But I don't think that we will. Oh, you can destroy those too. Nice, okay. Alright, let's just proceed, I suppose. Any enemies? Kind of like dull without enemies. There we go. Come on, bud. No more of you? Okay. My gosh, you can carry a lot of ammo here. Okay, are these explosive? Yes, they are. Alright, let us proceed. I love how these stupid enemies jump. I love the music that it plays when they're around, though. I would love a higher ammo capacity. This is why they give you a lot of ammo. Because you run out of it quick because of how bad the aiming is. Oh gosh, okay. The yellow portal you see in this room is the terminal gate. The exit of the battlefield. Eliminate the gatekeeper to unlock the gate. Entering the gate will end the training program. Okay, hold on. Okay. He is eliminated. All gatekeepers deleted. The gate has been unlocked. Fantastic. Oh, perfect. I just walked right over the health, too. And here is our upgrade. So this is going to be a plugin that we're going to be able to use. Frag underscore GRE acquired. New CBX file decode completed. So frag GRE is a frag grenade. Okay, okay, so a standard grenade explodes a few seconds after release. Okay, and there's our stats for it and everything. Fantastic. So that is our new weapon. That is our new weapon. So, how do we... There we go. This is how we switch weapons here. And we now have a frag grenade. We can use it at any time. And I still don't know what the orange 0 is at the bottom right. I'm sure we'll figure that out in time, but yeah, let's go ahead and exit the training mode. Hack successful. Acquired files will be saved. Return to terminal? Yes. Sector 00 cleared. You have completed this sector. Groovy music. Okay, 100% for everything. Oh, we almost... If only we did it a second sooner. It would have been 1111. It would have been perfect. Okay, so areas hacked. Number of areas hacked divided by the total number of areas. Total number of enemies. Okay, so you are scored based on how many enemies that you actually defeat. How many areas that you end up going to, which is why you should explore everything. And how many files you have decoded. Only ARM, CBX, and DFN files are included. So it looks like DFN are going to be defensive plugins that we can use. And then Jack in Time displays your gameplay time. Nice. Just groove into this music a little bit. Okay. Training program sector hack successful. Now accessing combat program sector 1. Verifying ID. Verified. Decoding password. Password successfully decoded. Overwriting verified. Unlocking sector 1. Access successful. Caution. Data compatibility not guaranteed when hack failure with sector 1. The worst case possibility you may not be able to return. Good luck. Thank you, bud. So now with that, we can access the plugins. So we can only select a few number of plugins in order to bring with us. Looks like we can select 3 offensive weapons. And then, well, I guess maybe for right now, looks like there could be a total of 5. And then defensive capabilities for our head, our body, and our feet. But we don't have anything yet. But we're gonna have to collect those through the game here, and we can just choose what we want here. We don't have anything else for the time being. Select from the attachment slot on the left and choose the attachment, detach, or swap. You can attach by selecting the plugin list on the right side. So it doesn't mention how much we can use here. When you've run out of grenade rounds for CBX files, it will be removed from the slot or list automatically. Okay. That looks good here. And as you can see, we're slowly filling this out, ever so slowly. Looks like there's a lot of arms. There's a few CBXs, and there's a lot of defense as well, which we do not have any of. And our battle log, yeah, here it is. Class F. Oh, is that because I took too long? 1 second too long? Let's go ahead and save it. Vista. Okay. Instant saving. It's absolutely amazing. Okay, so next time we're officially going into Sector 1. As you can see, look, Sector 0 is complete. Next time, Sector 1. There's 3 different areas in Sector 1. And there's 4 files in here, 3 in here, and 3 in here. So we have the city, base, and the ruins in Sector 1. So we're going to be starting with the city next time, which is equivalent to what we just did. And then we have the base, which looks kind of similar. And then we have the ruins, which, you know, that one looks the most different of the 3. But yeah, I'll see you next time on Coded Arms.